This call is being recorded.
Good afternoon or good morning.
Yo, what up, Michael? How you doing?
I'm great, man. Thank you for calling in. Please don't hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions. And yeah, I am recording this conversation once again. But other than that, yeah, I see you have your birthday on the 23rd of December, in '98, which is definitely awesome. Puts you well into the new generation. And once again, please don't hesitate to interrupt if there's anything you want to ask. That's totally fine. Um, Other than that, once again, your chart is really awesome because you have not only an alien construct, but the quality of alien construct that you have is actually one of the most advanced and extraordinary. And it's everything that coming into 2023 and 2024, you'll begin to awaken as a collective instrument of your entire generation, especially when we speak to those who will be born from 2024 to like 2040, uh, something, give or take. But I'm going to share an alien construct article about what it means to have Uranus in its dignity in Aquarius, but mainly in your rising as well as Neptune. And then with your moon also being in Aquarius, 27 degrees at that on the south node, this also adds vessel quality to this alien construct energy. And of course, in uh, Aquarius, this has a lot to do with this sense and element of, how do I say it, you being in a position to realistically harness cosmic energy at this advanced level. Let me see if I can get the right chart here. Bam. Okay. So it definitely goes a long way towards you being in a position to not only powerfully harness this, but it's also amazing because February of 2021 is when you began this first house chapter, this 12-year cycle of discovery coming into the knowledge of yourself as high king. The aqua rising is high nobility. We see that with Uranus here, you have the ability to channel high frequency beings, uh, talk to anyone of any station or status of life, predict conceptions, election outcomes, receive and transmit messages to the divine, predict election outcomes, hold the truth about another person so that person is able to see himself as whole and completely well, express genius, read mind, souls, and auras, hypnotize others, um, communicate with the fairy kingdom, read other souls and see their greatest potential. Once again, having all of this in Aquarius is not only at a God level, but next level. It's the definition of advanced here in Aquarius, where you are holding this archetype as a Capricorn, the goat, as of high nobility and extraordinary knowledge. We have to also take into account the 27-degree aspect of your soul, which is not only destiny chosen, but also in a position to be an instrument of this element that we see of knowledge at a soul level connected to the south node, representing that you come from the ancient future. And the reason why this is important is because it represents the soul knowledge, the advanced cosmic soul knowledge that you brought to you with you from the ancient future in order to facilitate your destiny, to use your own self as a resource and the knowledge of self as a resource to express the courage to hold space charismatically with and for others. It's almost as if, once again, you're taking the higher knowledge of yourself and you're holding space to put other people on, to bring that energy, that solar energy. And as a narrator, because Aquarius is a narrator, almost write the story of the main characters that you partner with in this lifetime. This is highly advanced energy. And to see Uranus within proximity of your AC cements your status as not only a cosmic king, the high king, but also at extraordinary levels that have you express genius, given that Uranus is in its dignity in Aquarius, which is a once in a lifetime aspect, and you're a part of Jupiter in the second house club, which is such a huge deal because you're coming into a Jupiter return. Everyone with Jupiter in a second gets money. This is what Kylie Jenner has. This is what Bill Gates have. Basically, this evolves your ability to realistically evolve the level of abundance that you personally um manifest. I have this to a degree too, and basically you might spend as much money as you get, but this really speaks of you in this lifetime, especially now that you're coming into a Jupiter return, having the ability to evolve your ability to manifest, and it puts you in a lot of money. This sets you up for wealth in this lifetime, and you also want to keep in mind that at Jupiter, this is as simple as just imagining and being able to manifest anything you imagine. Um, I actually have Uranus on the moon at a certain degree and Neptune, and I've read the mind of a teenager before I even knew I had psychic abilities. It was like one of my first psychic experiences, and it was in Capricorn, trying my Taurus, Venus, and rising. So I had put my left hand on his head to escort him to the bathroom. He asked me how much money he had in his wallet, and I heard 21. I said 21, and he looked at me like, there's no way you knew that. And I looked at him like, there's no way I got that right. And so I tried to guess deliberately what color he was thinking, fruit number, and I got it wrong. And it wasn't until later I realized, since the moon is there, it wasn't anything I could force consciously. It was all subconscious. It was when I didn't try that it came to me. And because I touched him, since this was an earth, that physical sense of psychometry, in a sense, enabled me to hear it. But you have this in Aquarius. It's so advanced where you don't have to touch anybody. You just know. This is so advanced that science, one, may never really catch up to your level of awareness. Being that you come from the ancient future, that's understandable. But you only exist, according to science, in science fiction and fantasy. This is a level of genius so extraordinary that with this 12th, 11th house power transcended in Capricorn, you're able to discern the nature, the higher nature and meaning of someone's character in mere seconds without necessarily needing the data to analyze inductively or deductively, where you can use the facts and receipts to confirm what you already know real time based off of what you just claircognizantly picked up. And this is the definition of weird here, because it's supernatural and not normal at all how you mainly are always kind of right with this. We have to also express that being a Capricorn at this level is one of the highest levels of Capricorn you can be. The extraordinary or cosmic director that as high king and nobility directs literal astral and cosmic and causal realm influences to command the literal universe. Something that as Saturn is transiting your first is kicking off a 30-year cycle for you to come into responsibility to, similar to starting a new business and being responsible for getting that brand and its name off the ground. And so, given that it takes like 2.5 years for Saturn to move through a sign, it's like the 2.5 years it takes for a business to get off the ground. And you're well on your way to really coming into this. When Jupiter went through my first, I became the peace dealer. It's just you're coming at this at literally the highest level at Aquarius. And so, this is you personally as a leader of the new school, because y'all are the new generation that's going to show superpowers on the realest shit ever, if I can just be completely honest. And so you are one of the God Kings of the new generation that's going to come of age first out of everyone in a new generation. And similar to an ascended master, you're here to lead humanity. You literally came from the ancient future to bring this soul knowledge and wisdom embedded in you to lead the new generation. Pluto and Sagittarius represents, of course, the awakening into the last four God signs, starting with Ascension in Sagittarius. And you are a part of Saturn and Aries, which is the first karmic cycle and wheel to spark this creation, Pluto Sag, of the new age of Aquarius. And so you are a part of the sparkers, the first sparkers of the generation, the new generation that will spark the new concepts that Saturn and Taurus will continue to go on and build. Um, Once again, this is very, very powerful because this also incorporates an understanding of abilities and techniques that no one has ever really seen or understood before. And at this point, I'd like to ask, how does any of this resonate with you?
Man, so right now, I'm kind of like what I would label it as is a dark night of the soul. Like, really, I'm just
Right.
getting rid of all concepts of everything and kind of in a twin flame journey. But me and her both know like we're not each other's twin flame. We're just playing out archetypes, and that's happened in the last couple days. And I
That's
got a
deep.
twin, so me and him practice like the reading minds. We actually like after you said that, I realized like we did that as kids with each other, and it showed up as twin telepathy when in actuality we were practicing a primordial thing. And that's
Oh,
the thing that that's why it's been like this is so dope because it's like I'm stepping into the understanding of being essentially primordial in a sense of my soul and understanding like
yeah.
how that interacts with my physical vessel. And it's been rough, but this is dope that this is happening.
Yeah, man. In fact, Jupiter is 22 degrees, so that direct motion is getting ready to move you forward legit while the sun goes through your 10th house. So, you went through the year of release last year, and this is you coming into identifying the knowledge of self through all of these factors. And
See, that's crazy because it's like as above, so below. Like I just dropped like spiritually, I dropped everything, but physically, I just dropped out of college, and right now, me and my twin actually are working on our production. Not a production company, but he engineers and I sing, and we have our buddy who helps with that, and
that's
just like the
awesome.
whole soul group concept with that has been crazy. Like my album's gonna come out on the 11th. It's all tuned to 432. Like it's stuff like that that this is so divine because it's like I've asked for this direction and like you said in my last reading, like me and you are both soulmates, and that's what I asked for, and it's the soulmate of my business, and this it's just dope. Yeah, I appreciate you for this.
No problem, man. It's really an honor to give you this reading. Like, there's really little to no chart that I read that I will admit is just awesome, super awesome. But your chart is literally the definition of next level, man. Like, I'm very honored to read this because it really goes a long way towards how you're single handedly. Of course, you are a collective God, like you're a collective entity. So when I
Right.
say single handedly, it's not as an individual like an Aries or a Taurus or Gemini. You represent the collective essence of everything around you. So everything that you go through, you as a collective being also reflect, and of course, vice versa. So, I mean, it really goes a long way towards putting you in a position to realistically and fully, once again, tap into this sense of, especially with Jupiter going over your moon, this soul evolution that you're due for. And it's so good to know that you're investing in art. Even you dropping out is in line with this 12th house energy you released. And the ruler of your ninth house of higher education, Venus, is in the 12th and it squares your Mars. And then the ruler of your fifth house of undergraduate education, Mercury, is in Sagittarius with the South Node. So, like, it's something you may even find that if you may go back to college later, it's just this you'll quickly realize it's not anything you really need this lifetime because you're pioneering a whole consciousness and freedom that will revolutionize a whole goddamn generation. And as a 12 houser, you are expressly a legend. There's really no escaping that. Not that you were seeking to escape that, but like this really speaks to how influential and powerful now in the 12th, you through your heart with your talent is transcended, especially Venus in the 12th. Venus in the 12th house, people make some of the dopest musicians because you have hidden talents that represent how deeply spiritual you express your soul through not only your work, but at Capricorn in the greatest way ever. So you have this sense of being able to express your singing or, rapping or talent in ways that really, push this out very, instrumentally. And so this gives you a transcendent quality of direction that opens up like telekinesis and all sorts of freaky powers. And I have to say freaky powers because once again, like this is next level. And with Jupiter in a second, you can literally manifest based on what you imagine and warp reality through this. This is why now in the second house, it's effortless what's going to open up with your ability to make money and manifest. And, Pisces doesn't even always have to be money as much as it is like the divinity and freedom to just really bring into form such concepts. And Neptune here in Aquarius will advance the nature of your intuition to be more mental and tied into how quickly you claircognizantly harness this. We see Mercury is next to Pluto, and so you visualize in the way you process the meaning of experiences so extremely. This could give you a very obsessive mind, maybe even addictive too, and it's not a bad thing at all. This actually adds to your talent. This in the 11th house is like being a rock star. It's like you can get everyone to form an instant mosh pit and you can just bring so much wild energy to a crowd that it brings this enlightenment of your own talents and it evokes this extreme change. And so keep that in mind because the MC here in the 11th alludes to a sense of fame that's going to be aligned to how much you can ascend circles of friendships. This actually makes this so that you attract extremely wild friends. But seeing this here with the MC here means that you're going to be like a community leader. Energy like this is someone who came into leadership as a party coordinator, but this is an extension of leadership more into you being once again at the Sagittarius ascended collective God level, this creator of joy And so the MC here is you kind of transforming any collective you're a part of. You extremely ascend it. It's before you, after you, and as such, you're not really meant to keep a job or stay in the same neighborhood, because once you kind of change it or show people the way, you're going to be sent to the next place of employment or friendship. uh MC here near the 11th could kind of speak to changing friends a lot, but that doesn't mean you're fake as much as you're someone who is here to really influence a lot of people. And how does that resonate?
Spot on. Like literally, I left college because of that ideology. Like feeling like, okay, I've affected everybody up here enough. It's time to go home and see if I can help my family. Like literally, like that's spot on. Like it's nice.
Wow, that's deep. And because the IC is in Gemini, it could also apply to neighborhood you live in. Like if you find that you move a lot, that could also kind of influence that. But still, like, I just want to emphasize once again how badass your chart is, because it really goes a long way towards putting you in a position to realistically capitalize so claircognizantly. And remember, once 2023 hits, coming into around your Saturn return 2025, that will conclude 2027-ish. Oh my gosh, like the level of power you're going to awaken is literally godly. And it's not going to be a game, man. It's just going to be, it may be difficult, especially coming out the 12th, because you have to deal with these extraordinary cosmic supernatural powers and abilities, literally. But this, of course, is like the advent of you stepping into this new age, amongst other things. So it's definitely just going to time itself really well, because at this level of Capricorn being the GOAT, it enables you so much more toughness and the ability to facilitate such a transition. And now the consequence of being a collective God here is that you're holding space for everyone else in your generation who harnesses this cosmic energy through Aquarius, where you'd be the instrument. It's like being Shazam, and like everyone else in your generation can harness that power, but through you, kind of like everyone else did through the wizard, or Shazam's friends did through Shazam. And it's holding that burden of harnessing millions of people, harnessing that power. Every generation kind of has that. And that's what our responsibility as vessel aliens or instrument aliens are. We literally make people like 10 times more psychic just being around us. I would say, especially you. Even the fluidity of how much I've been able to channel most of what I did was because you literally amplified my channel, just literally like talking to you. And so you know, it'll really go a long way into how you see this influence and effect and impact other people. Other than that, man, did you have any final questions at all?
Um, you said my Saturn return would start around 2025.
Yes, so 2025 is when Neptune as well is also going to enter this sign, which is actually very, very, very pivotal, because coming into Aries is going to go a long way towards realistically not only starting that Saturn return, but it's like you enter the test hall for the final exam. Um, Personally, you have Saturn in your third too. So this inhibits your attitude and skill sets, but it makes you a master of them over time. And you have a very original and raw authority over individuality. It's individual karma. So this definitely speaks to the seriousness of how you express your attitude. But with Saturn and Aries, you don't want to be impatient with yourself, because you could, in the learning, this could also bring limitations in learning, where you don't give yourself enough time to learn concepts. If you kind of force yourself to get it instantly, you want to keep that rawness, but be a bit more patient with yourself. And other than that, I'm going to send you this recording, and thank you once again for calling in.
Well, appreciate you, bro.
No,
Blessings in abundance.
likewise. All right,
Yes, sir.
and you stay blessed.
Always.
All right, peace out.